You ready to share? Good morning. I want to call to order this meeting of the Wabash County Board of Commissioners for Monday, July 7th. First item on the agenda is review of the minutes of June 16th. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes?
Make a motion to accept the minutes from June 16th.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same. Motion passed. Under new business, first item is a public hearing for Wabash County to apply for an Oprah grant with Daniel's Place in North Manchester.
Yeah.
So first, motion to close or to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
And moved and seconded that we open the public hearing. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same. Motion passed. Now you can go.
Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate you all having us this morning. My name is Alex Downard. I'm with the Community Foundation of Wabash County. And as a reminder, this is the second of two public hearings. The first was June 16th about the Daniels Place project in North Manchester, and Wabash County is the sponsor local unit of government for that project. This was one of our Stellar Pathways projects through the Office of Community Rural Affairs. This project specifically received $1.1 million allocation as a part of that Stellar application. And so with me today, Mike Klein-Peter from Klein-Peter Consulting, his teammate, Melissa, is filling in for Mike today. He is at his daughter's dance nationals today, so is unable to join us, but Melissa was kind enough to come up. They are the certified grant administrator for the project, which is required by the Office of Community Rural Affairs. This is non-competitive, but we still have to go through the OCRA process for the project. So I'll let Melissa walk through the different public hearing details, and then I'm happy to answer any project-related questions. Cheryl Working, the board chair and founder of Daniels Place, was unable to join this meeting today. She is out raising more money and on call with the Lutheran Foundation right now, just as she's raising an operating endowment for the future facility. So happy to answer any questions if I can, but with that, I'll turn it over to Melissa.
Good morning. I'm Melissa Norby, and I'm a certified grant administrator with Klein-Peter Consulting Group. And as Alex mentioned, we're working with the county on this OCRA grant application. Notice for this public hearing was posted in the Plain Dealer on June 25th. The purpose of the hearing today is to discuss the application for grant funding through the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. We're applying specifically for a Stellar Public Facilities grant in the amount of $1,103,000. We will be contributing a local match of $2,168,492 in non-CDBG funds that will come from fundraising efforts by Daniels Place. We want to make sure that citizens are fully informed and have the opportunity to voice their concerns or support for the project and ask any questions you may have. There is a sign-in sheet going around that's a requirement of the public hearing, so please sign in. We will be submitting a proposal on July 15th and expect to be officially awarded around the 1st of August. From there, OCRA will need 45 days to get the grant agreement signed and processed, and we're looking to go out to bid in mid-September. So at this time, again, OCRA likes to hear public comment, so if you have any comments, we would love to hear from you at this time. And that could be anyone from the public or commissioners.
I might just have you explain that this, it has to be, the recipient has to run through a local unit of government, and so it runs through us, but it will be passed back through to Daniels Place and over.
Yep, thanks, Commissioner. As you'd mentioned, this requires a local unit of government to be the sponsor, and I don't mean financially sponsor, but just the sponsor entity that's the applicant to OCRA. There'll be what's called a sub-recipient agreement between the county and Daniels Place as the nonprofit recipient of the funding, and then work with Shelley. I know Mike and Shelley have already had conversations just about the necessary accounting system for State Board of Accounts and everything like that. As Melissa mentioned, as she was reading through this, Cheryl has all of the funding to complete the project secured from different grant sources and fundraising efforts, and right now is in the process of raising an operating endowment to help with the additional costs once the facility is completed. But correct, so no local unit of government money going into the project, but it does require the applicant to be a local unit of government.
Do they think that the wedding will be in September, so do they think they'll start building in this year or start in the spring?
Probably spring.
Right.
There is an existing building on the site that Cheryl owns, the Daniels Place owns, that will come down. And there's some remediation for that existing facility that'll go in place. But hopefully the building may come down, but depending on the weather this winter will dictate, I think, a lot schedule wise. County will be obviously review all of those agreements and contracts with any of those, the general contractor that's the low qualified bidder.
Any other questions from commissioners? Questions from the public? Now, do we need a motion to
Close it.
close the hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the hearing for Daniel's Place.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded that we close the public hearing for Daniel's Place in North Manchester. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion passed. Now, do we need another motion?
Anything else from you?
That's all. I
Okay.
think next will be the resolution.
I don't have it yet. Yeah, he didn't send it to you. Do you have one? I do.
Just approving the application.
It was to commit the local match that would come from Daniel's Place.
So this subject to attorney review.
I would accept the motion then to accept this resolution for grant and the Oprah grant and Daniel's Place.
Move.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept this resolution authorizing application submission and local match to Daniel's Place to an Oprah grant. Questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same. Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll email it to you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Next, we have Connor Hyman. You pronounce that right, Connor? Yeah. Project manager for Magic 185.
Real quickly, before I turn it over to Connor, just wanted to say thank you for having us this morning for the funding request. I know I was here in May, at one of the May Commissioner meetings to do just an Imagine 185 update at that point. So today, really happy to answer any questions from you all or for the public as it relates to Imagine 185, but the main purpose, wanted you all to meet Connor Hyman. I think at the May meeting, we had talked a little bit about the upcoming Imagine 185 advisory board meeting where we're gonna look at the Imagine 185 budget and plans for Imagine 185 moving forward. Ultimately, what that board was composed of Commissioner Dawes and then a representative from each of the other local units of government. With all of the changes to Senate Bill 1, each community is going to evaluate it on their own basis and what they want to do with funding for year 4. And then obviously each year as we've evaluated moving forward. And each unit of government's doing it differently. Some are holding the exact same, some are reducing funding because of Senate Bill 1. And I think everybody's still trying to wrap their arms around that. And so today just wanted for the official funding request for year 4 of Imagine 185. But again, I'll turn it over to Connor here to introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Connor Hyman. I just graduated from Manchester University this May. I majored in business management and marketing. I'm from Tipton County, Indiana, the northern part of it. So Windfall, Indiana, if you know specifically where that is, real tiny town. I interned with Alex starting in January and took on the role as the project manager for Imagine 185 at the beginning of June. So really been a part of this for 6 or 7 months now, just learning and trying to keep up with everything that you guys have done. Something that really piques my interest with this job and just the overall initiative is the population attraction and is mitigating our housing crisis. Those pieces I think are super vital, and they're really interesting to me. So that's just a little bit about me. If you have any questions, I'm more than willing to answer, but I appreciate the time today also.
Questions for Connor?
It's, yeah, I'm ready for you.
Questions or comments from the public?
I do, Cheryl Ridgway. I just have a question because back in May 5th of 22. Patty Grant with Community Foundation spoke to the Plan Commission about a comprehensive plan and Imagine 185. And talking about having a director, she stated, somebody asked her at that meeting about money. And she said, we're not asking for money. So at some point that must have changed. And I know there are minutes out there that say it was a 3-year plan for Alex's position. So my question would be, and I'll just list all my questions because I don't know if what I'm allowed to ask and what I'm not, but what is left to do that would justify expanding this job another 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever? I don't know what his contract is. So what is left on that punch list? Because I don't know if you shared it with them, but I tried looking on the website. I cannot find exactly, I find a lot of word salad. I don't find exactly what you've done and exactly what's left to do of those main points that are listed that need to be accomplished. And then my other question is about the job, and it's certainly nothing against you because I don't know you pretty well. Who is the funding that you're requesting today for the position to cover someone for that position? And if so, who is he accountable to? And is the county liable for anything he does? And is he considered a county employee, whether contract or salary? And who interviewed, who hired, who decided, was the job advertised? Again, who is he accountable to? Is he accountable to them? Is he accountable to the council, the plan commission? Who's he accountable to? As far as the housing crisis, now's the time that I would make a comment. I don't know. I'm curious if Imagine 185 and Wabash had any part in the decisions that have been made about the houses that have been built. And one of the things Imagine 185 and Wabash states is we need more affordable housing. Those are not affordable houses. And the one has been on the market for a year. I looked it up on Zillow. It went on the market on July 8th of 2024, and it has been reduced by about $50,000 and it's still sitting there. So somebody needs to come up with a better committee on deciding what's affordable and what's desirable, what's needed, because those aren't fitting the bill. And even the one out at Legacy Heights has been sitting there for like a month. So I don't know. I question whether the people making those decisions on houses really have a grasp of what people are wanting and needing in Wabash.
Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah. So if I missed one, Sherry, just correct me. I'll start at the housing piece. I think after the last time that I was here, I'm happy to sit down and do a deep dive on the Legacy Heights project, do a deep dive on housing, and don't want to take everybody's time here today. Any housing decision in terms of product type is rooted in either the 2019 or the 2023 housing study that was done by Zimmerman, Volk and Associates out of Chicago, that does these housing studies for communities all over the state of Indiana and all over the place. Those decisions or development types, everything like that is how we've gauged demand. All of that is through those studies and what we've just taken as them as the expert for housing. The community foundation has provided the impact investment loan, meaning it's an asset of the community foundation to construct that house, the first house at Legacy Heights. So us, as much as anybody else, has seen that development unfold. And that is a project of Club 720 and Pure Development. Club 720 is an entity out of Fort Wayne that Parkview sold or donated the ground to in partnership with the city of Wabash for that housing development. The planning for that process, the open houses, the public engagement sessions were back in 2019. The mayor, and I don't want to speak on the mayor's behalf, all of us have learned a lot through that project. And every day I'm still dealing with that project and the units that are out there. It's more expensive than everybody wanted it to be at the beginning. I think there is a little bit of misunderstanding sometimes in the housing space of affordable, big A affordable meaning subsidized, and what's affordable is different for everybody, right? And however, there's no doubt about it, the price points of those units out there are higher than everybody than the planning for them at the beginning of that project pre-COVID versus where it ended up now. And so actively with the city, with Club 720, with Pure, with Community Foundation, we're working every day on that project to try and figure out what's going to be next out there to make that a viable project for the city.
Well, let me just comment that what's there is going to really hamper desirability for anything you build there in the future, personally. And maybe a local contractor and a local committee versus somebody out of Chicago and somebody out of Fort Wayne would have a better grasp about what's wanted, because there's a lot of people.
I completely agree, Sheriff. We started,
Yeah.
the Wabash County Development Corporation, because of that project, is our own local committee now that's made up of 11.
It's a failure,
What the
those
development.
houses.
Like I said, Sheriff, we continue to learn as much as we can from that development moving forward. We can't do anything about the decisions that have been made so far. And so we are actively spending countless hours a week on the Wabash County Development Corporation, which is the new local housing entity of 11 business members that engage nothing but local contractors, local lenders, local subcontractors in Wabash County. And we continue to try and mitigate and help with the path forward. And we realize that affordable in Wabash County, we have to produce units 125 to 250 that feel like brand new when you walk in to address our biggest gap in the market. And that's what every single day, Connor is knocking on doors, calling people of vacant properties across the county. We just got another one in Wabash last week from somebody that bought it at a tax sale with no plans to purchase or do anything with it. And so we are actively working to do that every single day with local people and trying to address that problem. I promise you. And like I offered last time, I'm happy to sit down and talk to you more about that in depth. If it's helpful. The next piece, in terms of who's liable, all of those things. So if you remember, Grow Wabash County held the contract for the Imagine 185 position when I was on contract through my business, like we talked about last time, to lead the Imagine 185 implementation work. I moved to the community foundation when Patty retired. And so the budget and the position is all that happened was the community foundation in Grow Wabash County switched spots. Connor's ultimate accountability is to the 8-member Imagine 185 advisory board, which is myself, Tennille from Grow Wabash County, and then Representative Commissioner Dawes, and then from each of the 5 communities. Sits on that and meets every other month. Ultimately, that's where the responsibility lies. Day to day, Connor is a W-2 employee of the Community Foundation of Wabash County. He's covered under our liability insurance. Ultimately, he reports to me day to day. Some of that was from an onboarding standpoint, and so accountability. I don't want to let Connor speak, but I can tell you that Connor puts in well over 40 hours in the work that he's doing, and I'm trying to lead him as best as I can in partnership with the other members of the Imagine 185 board. Was the position advertised? No. And we're the Community Foundation of Wabash County. Ultimately, through Connor's internship experience, what the position was looking at that entry level role. Ultimately, we felt Connor was the best fit, and that was a decision made by the Community Foundation Board of Directors and myself, based on my recommendation from the time and through Connor's internship. What's left to do, Sherry, as you know, the word salad of Imagine 185, as you'd mentioned, there's a lot of high level terms, a lot of high level ideas. Those aren't actionable projects. And so what we've done the first 3 years of Imagine 185 is work to move actual projects along, some of which we provided one and an update from Daniel's Place today. But we approached Daniel's Place no different than we've approached Gill River Commons, than we've approached the Wabash Trail. We move all of these projects along through design, through due diligence, through community engagement on action specific projects, identify as much outside funding as we can to support it and implement the project. Right now, we've been successful in securing $12.1 million with Manchester University for 4 projects up there from the Lilly Endowment. The Stellar Initiative down here has 14 projects and programs. We're able to move them along, identify that funding, secure the funding, and now are in implementation mode of those projects. Meaning that it's organizing the designs, the contractors, the engineers, working through public hearing processes for each of those projects across all of our communities in the county. And so it has been an absolute blessing having Connor on board now in the few months of being in the community foundation role and not having an Imagine 185 project manager. But I can assure you in terms of accountability or our work moving forward, now what's left to be done is those next round of projects from Imagine 185. Happy to Connor and I both sit down, walk through page by page of Imagine 185 with you, initiative by initiative, if time would allow, and providing a comprehensive update on that. But we are in the game right now. That the wheel is spinning for Wabash County. We saw positive population numbers in 24. There's a buzz here locally of everyday community people are buying into Wabash County's future amidst some of the hot button political issues that have happened in the last few years. We don't spend any time on that stuff. We're trying.
Do you give Imagine 185 that credit for the people moving in? I asked you the last time we discussed it, has there been a study done of people that built new houses in Wabash? And why they chose to build in Wabash County? Are they people like us who have lived here our whole life and we wanted to downsize? Are they people who moved here because Huntington County taxes are higher and they wanted to build right over the line because they still work in Huntington? Because I know a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
So are you taking credit for that population?
Sure, people, anybody that's worked with me or has known me, I will never,
Personally,
I will never, I will put a stake in the ground that Imagine 185 is the name of a comprehensive plan, but the spirit of everyday people in this county is exactly why Wabash County is moving forward. That's not just people in elected office, people in paid positions to do this work. It takes absolutely everybody. It takes a mom and a dad raising their child, talking about what it's like raising a family here. Your point or question about the type of families that are staying, moving back, coming here, all of the above, and we need all of the above. And you've heard me say it 1,000 times. If kids are growing up here, not walking away, remembering what it's like growing up in this community, we have no chance at attracting future people if we can't retain the ones who grew up here.
Exactly.
That's been our theme. It's not something we just talk or say. It's what we work on every single day, tirelessly. Did I miss any questions?
Yeah, if I wanted to.
And I'm happy to, as I offered last time, Sharon, I'm happy to sit down
See a
anytime.
housing study and I don't know how to get the permits for like the last 3 years to see how many new houses, because I know there's a lot around us and why those are being built and what kind of homes are being built, because to me, that's the market that you target and
I completely.
don't see that.
We will take a half a day and jump in the car, Sherry, and look at every housing development
But we need
going
to
on
look at
and
the
one.
permit. You know,
We-
that's what.
We can do that too. We can do that too.
Other questions? I will add, prior to the new comprehensive plan taking place, it was the wish of the planning commission to preserve Ag 1 ground out and not be building housing additions or stuff out there, that the housing additions would try to be concentrated closer to Wabash, Manchester, Rowan, Grove. And so while it's not something that's steadfast, it's something that's been kind of in the background and wishes of the planning commission, so.
Absolutely. And I Imagine 185, the Wabash County Development Corporation, the new housing entity locally here, nobody's pushing that in any direct, as you can attest to.
Yeah, I agree to that. Other questions? Questions from commissioners? Hey, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Have you got a dollar figure that you're requesting?
Yes, I believe the first 3 years, the county supported at 25,000. What we're looking at now from the countywide entities, so that would be the Wabash County Commissioners, the Community Foundation of Grow Wabash County, is just asking 15,000 from each of those entities moving forward to support Imagine 185.
Okay.
And one question I did miss the answer to is that covers Connor in terms of the project position, and then a small budget for miscellaneous expenses that come up if there's an architect we need for a project, a local match for a planning grant, that type of thing, that funding is also used for.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next is Dan Gray, Wabash County Action Grants. Morning.
Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity. You have before you the budget that is being presented to you for the action grants that are provided to organizations in Wabash County that address the alcohol, drug, and tobacco misuse. We cover different programs in the county. Prevention and education is what it goes towards, treatment and intervention, and justice and enforcement. And they're evenly divided among those different areas of need. We are asking that $50,000 be apportioned for 2026 and given to the different organizations that do address those needs in our county.
Questions for Dan? Questions from the public? We'll add that to our list. We'll be reviewing all those requests like that in the next couple of weeks as we put our budget together.
Okay, as you know, the budget, the amount doesn't come from the county as far as your personal budget, but it comes from funds from the drug court. 75% of those funds stay in Wabash County, where 25% goes to the state. And so the 75% is what we have each year that's made available to us to provide these funds for these different projects.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Laura Rager, Director of the North Manchester Center for History.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for this opportunity this morning. I think I've been here 5 times, so this is my lucky number 6, right? I sent some materials to you in advance that had financial information, P&Ls and those types of things. This morning, I gave you a color copy of the budgets because it's way easier to look at it when it's in color. So I would like to thank you for your support over the last several years. You have enabled us to maintain 2 facilities that provide opportunities for service clubs, for schools, for libraries, for other sister museums, visitors from foreign countries. This year run quite a role with New Zealand, Japan, Germany, Canada, and I think Spain. So people enjoy visiting our facilities. They have the opportunity to learn and explore and discover things about not just North Manchester, but Wabash County as well as our region. We work cooperatively with all these entities because we all have tight budgets and our budgets just get tighter and tighter. So we really emphasize working with other groups like the school groups, homeschoolers, you name it, to help our resources go further. And it also helps each of us fulfill our mission in order to spread the word about what Wabash County has to offer, what Wabash County has been and will be moving forward. So working cooperatively is the best use of resources, in our opinion. We do get our revenue stream comes from memberships. We do an annual fund drive every year. We have corporate sponsors. We apply for grants, which everybody knows grants seem to be dissipating at a rapid rate. And we also do receive money from the local and county government, which we appreciate. Are there any questions I can answer? I gave you all the fun color pictures of the activities over the last year, summer camp programs, projects we've done. We working with the town of North Manchester. We in piecemeal fashion working on our alleyway to make that accessible for the community at all times with artwork that Imagine 185 gave us a grant for. Signage, things just to, like you do here in Wabash City, create spaces that are palatable, that are accessible to the community and just a fun place to visit.
Other questions for Laura? Have you got a dollar figure?
We're requesting $10,000 for this year, which is less than 10% of our total budget.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Department reports, County Highway Superintendent. Morning.
First item is a purchase order with Collided Truck Equipment to complete a build on truck we ordered. The total amount is $131,000. That is source law quote, so they was not involved.
Do we need a motion? Yes. Information.
I decided.
It's in your budget, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the state with part of the new rules now, like it's like it's on. You guys did sign them? The second item is the LPA consultant contract for DES number 2300164, which is the 2026 through 2029 bridge inspections. Contract the amount of $536,271.08. It's USI. I would make all three of you.
okay.
I'm probably let's make a motion to accept the contract for bridge inspection with USI.
Second that?
Been moved and seconded that we accept the contract from USI on those purchases. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same. Motion passed.
And the last item is an agreement between the county and North Manchester. Mark did review this agreement. It's for the reimbursable utilities on the Bridge 652 project, which is DES number 1902850. The amount of the agreement is $242,737. It's all three of us up here.
Oh, okay, didn't look behind it.
There you go. I put the arrow on the spot.
Which around, aren't we?
Signed on times.
I'll give it a copy and give it to you guys.
Okay.
I'll run and grab it before the drainage meeting. I was also sure, yeah, it's that three, those five should be
In the right order.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's great. So I have this morning, thank you.
Thank you, Paul. County Sheriff. Let's see. County Attorney,
I have nothing.
County Coordinator, HR Director,
I have nothing.
County Auditor,
I always have something. I have your accounts payable claims and allowances for dockets ending 6/16, 6/30, and 7/7 for your review and approval. Can't talk to me.
Make a motion for the allowances docketing 6/16, 6/30, and 7/7.
I will second that.
been moved and seconded that we approve accounts payable claims and balances for docket ending 6/16, 6/30, and 7/7. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same. Motion passed.
I have your payroll claims and allowances, including withholdings for a pay period ending 6/21. For your approval and review.
So this 6/21.
Yeah, it says 6/21 there.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the payroll claims and allowances and withholding for pay period ending 6/14. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same. Motion passed.
I have an SRI agreement. This is the agreement with the company that does our tax sales for us. This is just to have them perform our tax sale for us, and the calendar is in here. Mark has reviewed the contract.
We just need signatures on that. Not a motion. You do need a motion.
Because you're gonna say I'm gonna tax it.
Yeah. Make motion for the SRI agreement for the tax sale. For county.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the contract with SRI for the sales. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same. Motion passed.
Everybody's interested, yeah, there's a second page for it. You have 2 spots.
Usually has a meeting.
Yeah. Could be on the back. There's 2 spots for you to sign.
Very strange. Where's that? This one?
Because Jeff had been plus money from the sheriff and sheriff took both of them.
Yeah.
I just on.
But I'm not even.
That's a very weird one. There's the rest.
Prosecutor has a new cleaning agreement with a new cleaner over in his office. And this is his agreement for you guys to approve. Because all contracts have to be through you guys.
Make a motion for the cleaning agreement for the prosecutor's office.
I will second that.
Been moved and seconded that we approve the cleaning agreement for the prosecutor's office. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion passed.
Make sure minutes, your review items.
Does that come out of their budget?
Yes, it does.
Yes. We have no old business. Is there any ADA or Title VI concerns that need to be addressed today? Let the record reflect that there were none. Are there any further questions or comments that need to come from the public this morning? If not, I would accept a motion for adjournment.
I think he's trying to, you- maybe not. Okay,
Okay, I would accept a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you for your minutes and.